It's a damp Tuesday evening in 1972. You push open the heavy wooden door of your local pub and step into a world that feels instantly warm. The smell of cigarette smoke mixes with the rich aroma of gravy and roasting meat. The chatter is lively, pint glasses clink together, and in the corner, the landlord is chalking up the evening specials on a worn blackboard. The menu isn't crowded with avocado toast or quinoa salad. It's hearty, honest food meals made to satisfy after a long day's work. These were the dishes that filled stomachs, soaked up pints, and became as much a part of British pub culture as the beer itself. Some of them you might still spot here and there. Most, though, have vanished, remembered only in stories and old photographs. Let's bring them back to life, one plate at a time. 1. Ploughman's Lunch, the farmer's feast. It's midday, and the pub is buzzing with tradesmen, farmers, and shopkeepers. A plate, or more often, a thick wooden board is set down in front of you. On it, a wedge of sharp cheddar, a hunk of crusty bread, pickled onions with enough tang to make your eyes water, and a dollop of chutney. Sometimes there's ham, sometimes an apple, sometimes both. The beauty of it was its simplicity. No cooking required, yet deeply satisfying. Paired with a pint of bitter, the Ploughman's was a taste of the countryside, fresh, honest, and filling. 2. Steak and kidney pie, comfort in pastry. The server places the pie down, and you can't resist breaking the golden crust with your fork. A puff of steam escapes, carrying the scent of slow-cooked beef, tender kidney, and peppery gravy. Served with creamy mash or chunky chips, this was more than a meal, it was comfort food at its finest. A well-made pie was a badge of pride for any pub cook, and regulars could tell if the filling had been rushed. 3. Gammon steak with pineapple, sweet meat savoury. The sizzle of the grill draws eyes from across the room. A thick, pink slice of gammon is flipped, its edges caramelising. A pineapple ring is placed on top, its juices mingling with the meat. Served with chips and peas, it was a treat meal, often ordered for birthdays or special nights out. That sweet and savoury combination might puzzle some today, but back then it was the height of pub sophistication. 4. Mixed grill, a plate for the brave. The kitchen door swings open, and a plate so large it needs 2 hands to carry is placed before you. Lamb chop, pork sausage, rasher of bacon, fried egg, half a tomato, mushrooms, and sometimes a small steak. It wasn't for the faint-hearted. The mixed grill was the Everest of pub menus ordered by those with an appetite and a quiet determination to clear their plate. 5. Scampi and chips, a seaside memory. You could almost hear gulls in the distance when this arrived. Golden bread-crumbed scampi, crisp outside, tender inside, piled beside chunky chips. A wedge of lemon glistened on the side, and tartare sauce waited in a small pot. For many, it was a little taste of summer holidays at the seaside, even in the middle of a rainy inland town. 6. Corned beef hash, the working man's fuel. The aroma of frying onions fills the air as diced corned beef sizzles with potatoes in the pan. Edges crisp up, and the whole thing is topped with a fried egg whose yolk runs perfectly over the hash when cut. It was cheap, filling, and perfect for soaking up an evening's worth of beer. In many pubs, it was also a favourite late-night order before closing time. 7. Ham, egg, and chips. Simple perfection, a thick slice of ham, carved fresh from a joint in the kitchen. A fried egg with a yolk that spills like sunshine across the plate. Hand-cut chips fried in beef, dripping until golden. It was proof that you didn't need complicated recipes to make something unforgettable, reliable, affordable, and comforting. You could find it in almost every pub. 8. Shepherd's pie, a hug in a dish. A bubbling dish is set before you, the potato topping browned just at the edges. Beneath, minced lamb cooked with onions, carrots, and peas in rich gravy. Sometimes a sprinkle of cheese on top for extra indulgence. It was the perfect antidote to a grey, damp British evening. Each bite tasted like home, even if you'd never made it yourself. 9. Steak and ale stew, ale in a spoonful. The stew arrives in a deep bowl, its rich, dark gravy telling you it's been simmering for hours. Chunks of beef so tender they fall apart under your fork, potatoes and carrots softened in the broth, and a malty depth from the pub's own ale. With a chunk of bread to mop it up, it was slow cooking at its finest, the kind of meal you lingered over. 10. Sausage and mash, the pub's reliable friend. 3 plump sausages nestle into a mound of creamy mashed potatoes, with thick onion gravy flowing over the top and pooling at the edges of the plate. It was affordable, dependable, and loved by everyone from schoolboys to pensioners. Even in the fanciest of pubs, sausage and mash had a place on the menu. 11. Faggots and peas, a taste of tradition. 2 large dark meatballs sit beside a pile of mushy peas, both covered in a ladle of rich brown gravy. Faggots were made from pork offcuts, liver, and herbs, a frugal recipe passed down through generations. Not every pub served them, but in those that did, they were a point of pride. 12. Lancashire hot pot, the north in a bowl. The dish is still hot from the oven, its layer of sliced potatoes golden on top and tender beneath. The lamb inside is melt in the mouth, the onions soft and sweet, the gravy rich and savoury. It was comfort and sustenance in one, a dish that tasted of home, family and care. 13. Liver and onions, love it or leave it. The smell is unmistakable, savoury, rich and a little metallic. Slices of liver fried gently with caramelised onions, served with mash and gravy. For some it was heaven, for others it was the one menu item they'd never touch. But either way, it was a staple in many pub kitchens. 14. Chicken in a basket, the trendsetter. The novelty was half the fun. Crispy fried chicken and chips served not on a plate, but in a wicker basket lined with paper. It felt casual, a little rebellious, and in the 70 seconds, it was considered trendy. The basket craze swept pubs across the country. 15. Pie and mash with liquor, London on a plate. A deep-filled minced beef pie, creamy mashed potato, and a green-flecked parsley sauce known as liquor. Though a London classic, some pubs elsewhere served it to satisfy homesick Londoners. It brought a taste of the East End to wherever you were. 16. Bubble and squeak, waste not, want not. Leftover cabbage, potatoes, and carrots fried together until crisp on the outside and soft in the middle. Named for the sounds it made in the pan, it was often paired with cold meats or a fried egg. It was proof that even scraps could make something worth coming to the pub for. 17. Curry and rice, the pub's exotic experiment. Before curry houses were common, pubs made their own, a mild, powder-based curry with diced chicken or beef, sometimes dotted with sultanas or chopped apple. It might not have been authentic, but it was warming and felt adventurous at the time. 18. Roast of the day, Sunday's crown jewel. The dining room is packed, the smell of roasting meat filling every corner. On your plate, slices of beef, lamb, or pork, roast potatoes crisp on the outside and fluffy within, Yorkshire pudding, seasonal veg, and lashings of gravy. It was more than a meal, it was a weekly ritual. Families lingered for hours, and Sundays revolved around it. These 18 pub dinners weren't just food, they were moments in time. They were the smell of gravy on a damp evening, the clatter of plates in a busy kitchen, the satisfaction of a plate cleared and a pint finished. Some may never return to modern menus, but they'll always live in the memories of those who tasted them.